The age of industrialization. This picture was published in year 1900 by a music publisher E.T. Paul on the cover page of a music book Dawn of the Century. In this picture we can see a goddess-like figure holding a flag in her hand. She is balancing her on a wheel with wings symbolizing time. Her flight taking her into future. Signs of progress like railway, camera, machines, printing press and factory are floating behind her. This picture was appeared on the pages of Trade magazine 100 years ago. It shows two magicians. On the top, Aladdin represents the eastern countries, especially Asia, who built beautiful palace with his magic lamp. At the bottom, a modern mechanic symbolizes Western countries and modernity, who creates magic with modern tools and builds bridges, ships, towers, and buildings. These images make us understand the modern world with technological changes and innovation. The history of industrialization thus is a story of development. Orient. The term Orient refers to the countries to the east of the Mediterranean, usually referring to the Asia. The term arises out of a Western viewpoint that sees this region as a pre-modern, traditional and mysterious. Proto. Proto indicate the first or early form of something. Even before factories came into existence in England and Europe, there was large scale industrial production for an international market, not in factories but in decentralized unit. This phase of industrialization is also known as proto-industrialization. Trade guilds. These were the associations of producers that trained craft people, maintained control over production, regulated competition and prices, and restrict the entry of new people into the trade. What were the reasons why merchants moved to countryside for the production? Because in towns, trade guilds were powerful. These guilds controlled the production. Guilds restrict the entry of new merchants. They obtain monopoly rights from rulers to produce and trade in a specific product. Why people agreed to work? When merchants moved to countryside for work, why people of village eagerly agreed to work for them? Because due to British rule in India, open fields were disappearing and common were being enclosed. Because all the land, even the forest, were under the control of Britishers now, Indians were not allowed to take anything from these forests. Poor people who had earlier depended on common land for their survival, like gathering their firewood, berries, vegetable, hay and straw, had to now look for alternative sources of income. It means कि वो गरीब लोग जो पहले जंगलों से जलाने के लिए लकड़ी, सब्जियां, चारा ये सब इकट्ठा करके ले आते थे, अब उनको कुछ और सोर्सेज ऑफ इनकम ढूंढने की ज़रूरत थी टू अरेंज वर्क फॉर ऑल मेंबर्स ऑफ द हाउस होल्ड कि अगर उनके पास कोई छोटी मोटी ज़मीन का टुकड़ा था भी तो उससे पूरे घर के लोगों को एम्प्लॉयमेंट नहीं मिलता था, तो वो अपने घर के सभी लोगों के लिए एम्प्लॉयमेंट अरेंज करना चाहते थे, ज़रूरत थी. एंड मर्चेंट्स ऑफर्ड देम एडवांस मनी. मर्चेंट्स ने उन्हें एडवांस पैसा ऑफर किया. दे कुड वर्क एट होम एंड कैन ऑल्सो लुक आफ्टर देयर लैंड. अब वो अपने घर पर ही रहकर काम कर सकते थे और साथ में ही अपनी ज़मीन की भी देखभाल कर सकते थे. दे कैन यूज़ ऑल देयर फैमिली मेम्बर्स इन वर्क. अब फैमिली के सभी मेंबर्स को काम में अंगेज किया जा सकता था. इट इंक्रीज देयर श्रिंकिंग इनकम. Stapler. A person who staple or sort wools according to its fiber. Fuller. A person who fulls, that is gather clothes by plaiting. Carding. The process in which fibers such as cotton or wool are prepared prior to spinning. It means कि ये वो प्रोसेस है जिसमें कॉटन या वूल को पहले प्रिपेयर किया जाता है धागा बनाने से पहले. फुलर मतलब एक वो आदमी जो कपड़े को इकट्ठा करता है. स्टैपलर का मतलब क्या है? फाइबर्स को सॉर्ट आउट मीन्स अलग अलग करना उनकी क्वालिटी के अकॉर्डिंग. There was a close relationship developed between the towns and countryside. Merchant was based in town but the work was done mostly in countryside. इस तरह से शहरों के बीच में और गांवों के बीच में एक रिलेशनशिप बन गया. मर्चेंट्स रहते तो शहरों में थे, सारा जो व्यापार होता था वो शहरों में होता था, लेकिन उनका मोस्टली काम जो है वो गांव में होता था. A merchant clothier in England purchased wool from a wool stapler and carried it to spinner. The yarn that was spun was taken into subsequent stages of production to the weavers, fullers and then to dyers. The finishing was done in London before the export merchants sold the cloth in international market. इसीलिए इंग्लैंड में एक क्लोथ मर्चेंट पहले वूल स्टैपलर से वूल खरीदता था, फिर उसे स्पिनर के पास ले जाया जाता था जहां उससे धागा बनाया जाता था, और फिर उस धागे को टेक्सटाइल की डिफरेंट स्टेजेस में लेकर जाया जाता था लाइक वीविंग, फुलिंग एंड डाइंग. और उसकी कपड़े की जो फिनिशिंग थी वो लंदन में होती थी और उसके बाद कपड़े को इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में बेच दिया जाता था. This proto-industrialization system was thus part of a network of commercial exchange. It was controlled by merchants and goods were produced by vast number of producers working within their family farm, not in factories. At each stage of production, 20 to 25 workers were employed by each merchant. This meant that each clothier was controlling 100 of workers. तो हम देख सकते हैं कि प्रोटो इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन में जो वर्कर्स हैं वो फैक्ट्रीज में ना जाकर अपने घर पर ही काम कर रहे हैं और प्रोडक्शन के हर स्टेज में कम से कम 20 से 25 लोग लगे हुए हैं. इस तरह से एक अकेला मर्चेंट कई सौ वर्कर्स को कंट्रोल करता है.